Okay, so a quick video here today on teaching beginners from scratch. So this is coming from a question that one of the readers of my book, How to Teach Guitar, sent in. So I'm going to go through his question and then just give you my thoughts on it. So, here we go. In starting out, I feel more confident to teach intermediate adult players, but in testing the water, it seems that the greater interest is coming from parents for their children, and complete beginners or individuals returning to guitar having forgotten everything. I know where I want to take students, and once they have some basic skills and knowledge, how to take them there. The issue for me is that I don't have any real insight or experience of taking a student from nothing to a basic functional grasp. I believe this is because my personal experience of tuition has been as an intermediate advancing guitarist, where I have been coached rather than taught, plus formal academic training at university level. I suspect the answer lies in an off-the-shelf method. So this is a great question. And I think it addresses something that a lot of people who are getting into teaching guitar don't realise, and a couple of fears they may have. So I remember when I started teaching my very first couple of students, I was expecting to have to do a lot of complicated stuff to teach them. I was expecting students to come in wanting to do advanced jazz soloing or work on their technique or work on exotic scales, and like this potential teacher has found that that's not the case. The vast majority of people who teach as a local guitar teacher, they're going to be complete beginners, people just getting started, kids wanting to learn advanced songs, kids wanting to learn Taylor Swift songs, and they just want to put a capo on and strum some basic open chords. It's the stuff you're teaching really is not that advanced most of the time. There's always going to be a couple of people who come in wanting some more advanced stuff, which can be fun, but most of the time it's just people wanting to get started, learn their first Nirvana songs and things like that. So, this guy says he doesn't have any real experience or insights into taking students from nothing to a basic functional grasp. So how do you take somebody from being a complete beginner to being able to do something on the guitar? The way I like to do it is at their introductory lesson, I have them play something very, very simple like Ode to Joy. And when they do that, I'm not looking to have them do the rhythm correctly or anything like that. I just want them to place their fingers in the right place on the guitar. If half the notes ring out well, I'll consider that a win. Then we go on to the next thing. And for the first song, or first couple of songs, I'm just going to get them doing something very, very simple. So something I quite like is I made a one-string version of Smoke on the Water. So and a very simplified version of it as well. So rather than playing the little riff in the verse where he's picking through a power chord, it's just picking the root note and that's it on the 1 and the 3. Rather than the power chords in the chorus, it is just the root note being played on one string on the 1 each time. Really, really simple. Sometimes people struggle a bit to get the hang of that when they're starting out. So just keep it nice and easy, and it means that they can play along to the song as well, which is pretty cool. So even if someone's playing something simple, if they're playing along to the song, they're going to see that as a big win, and it's going to be fun. So I'd always start off just trying to make things as simple and easy as possible for the student. If you think you've made it too simple, you probably need to make it a bit more simple than that. Give them a very easy, quick win, and you can always make things a little bit trickier later on. You can add an extra note into the power chord, you can add an extra bit to the rhythm that you're using for the power chord, or something like that. I'd get them doing something like that and then start with some very basic open chords, maybe 3-string versions of the open chords using just 1 or 2 fingers at the most. And again, this just makes things very easy for them to get started. So I've got a couple of students who been teaching some Taylor Swift songs to, a couple of 7-year-old girls, really fun to teach. And we started off using a capo and just 3-string versions of the chords for one of the Taylor Swift songs of her first album. I can't remember what it is. Some song about a boy called Drew, I think. I must have heard the chorus a million times by now teaching this song. But anyway, something simple enough. All I've got to do is move one finger around the neck a couple of times, just strum the same 3 strings, and then they can play along to this song. Nice and easy. Once they got the hang of that, we then introduced, I did a second song, again with the 3-string chords. They picked that up a lot quicker. And then after that, we moved on to the full versions of the open chords, again, still using the capo. So just trying to make things really easy for somebody to get started. And again, they're just strumming the chords once at the start of the bar. I wouldn't even introduce strumming patterns until there are a few songs in, because with strumming patterns now the chord changes become really difficult, so it makes everything a lot harder. Yeah, so when teaching beginners, just make things really, really simple little one-string bass lines to songs, even simple 3-string versions of the chords. The guy in this email at the end said, I suspect the answer lies in an off-the-shelf method. Yeah, by all means, if you want to use one of those to get started, that's great. Gets you started with a good idea of how to, all sort of difficulty level to aim things at. I like to take songs my students are interested in and, where possible, make a simplified version of that. So any song with chords and strumming in it is quite easy to make a simplified version of. Classic rock songs you can quite often make simplified versions of. You can take all the power chord riffs and just play them on a single string. But yeah, that is how I would approach teaching complete beginners. The other thing is to remember to give them a lot more time than you think they need. While you might be able to pick up a song really quickly, it might take them a month or even 2 months to get through a song. It might take them a year to get through their first 3, 4 or 5 songs from start to finish, playing even simplified versions. And that's okay. The main thing is they just make very small amounts of progress each week, but they keep making that progress, and as they keep making that progress, they're going to keep improving. If you want to use an off-the-shelf method, by all means do. And something I can do in my guitar teacher training program is just give you examples of simplified songs that I have made. So if you've got any questions on that, leave a comment below. I hope that's been helpful, and see you in the next video.